Well, first of all, I want to commend everybody for being here tonight and telling your stories. It takes a lot to get up in front of a microphone and a handful of cameras and be so transparent. And I understand that. And I have seen story after story after story. And for those who have never been exposed to the CPS and that system, all of this appears unbelievable. But I've been there. I've walked through several people with their problems, the same problems you described tonight, and I just want to commend you for being here tonight. It takes a lot, and I want to commend all of those who are running for office, Judith Fay and Dina, who is a ball of fire. You get to know Dina. You have to back up 5 or 6 feet away from her just to protect yourself. But I'd vote for her if she was in my district, that's for sure. And John Stedman and Brian, forgotten his. I need to learn that because I can vote for Brian. So and I will. So anyway, John, you used a word. You took it right from me. The word is root. The scriptures say that what is the root of all evil? Money. Only one of you knew that. Yes, thank you for the correction. It is the love of money that is the root of all evil. And some say follow the money trail. Any problem in society, politics, personal difficulties, if you follow the money trail, you eventually get to the root problem, right? Now, money being the root of all evil, what does a root do? It works its way into the ground, and it doesn't direct every evil specifically, but the root feeds the tree. The root feeds the evil in the system, many times indirectly. That's what is happening here with Child Protective Services and this whole system that we're talking about tonight and dealing with. There's a lot of talk about the Constitution, and I almost hesitated to get up here, John. I at one point tried to get you to cancel me, just because I'm going to stand up here and just talk about dry, boring things, completely unemotional, I hope, and you folks have been up here and cried, and I understand where you are and where you have been. But there's a lot of talk about the Constitution now. And let me introduce myself first. I'm a father of 10 children, stepchildren, and adopted children. I'm married. I have, last count, 15 grandchildren. And I'm uncertain about that. It was 14, 15, 16. We just had another one. I'm not sure where we are at this point. But I also chair the U.S. Taxpayers Party of Michigan, which is a ballot qualified political party. If you look on your ballot, we're on there. We run candidates. Nationally, as John said, we're the Constitution Party. For instance, Florida, you can vote in Florida for the Constitution Party. I also have recently organized a group called FLAG, which stands for Family Legislative Action Group, and we are making attempts to rewrite and recommend legislation to protect the family and education and some other side issues. Okay, now for the third time, let's talk about the Constitution here. Maybe I can get to it this time. The Constitution is a document that authorizes government. This little Constitution is what creates government on the federal level. It's only that thick. The books of law would, I don't know how high they would be. I never figured it out, but there's a lot of law. But that which establishes government is this little book. That which limits government is found within its pages. And I won't go into a long explanation tonight because time is fleeing. But Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution is the article that defines the Congress and gives it its authority. All right? Section 8 of Article 1 says, the Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excise taxes to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. That is the most misunderstood and controversial statement in the Constitution today. Let me read that again, and I'll break the sentence up a little bit this time. Congress shall have power to pay the debts, provide for the common defense, and provide for the general welfare of the United States. There's a lot of people that read that and say, oh yeah, Congress has to provide welfare. That's not what that says. It says provide for the general welfare of the United States, not individuals thereof, of the United States. It is responsible as a federal government to provide an environment of good general welfare for the states. That's a political statement. It's not made or put in there to say that Congress has the responsibility to make sure we're well fed, or to make sure that everybody has a right to abortion, or to make sure that every Child Protective Services program in America is fluent and well funded, or Congress does not have the right or the obligation to make sure that you are well fed. Okay? Here's what Congress has the right and the obligation to provide. It specifies what is paying the debts, providing for the common defense, and providing for the general welfare. Specifies that in the next 17 points, and I'll abbreviate a couple of them again for the sake of time. 1, Congress has the obligation and the right to borrow money on the credit of the United States. Congress is obligated to regulate commerce with foreign nations and among the several states and with Indian tribes. Congress is to establish a uniform rule of naturalization and uniform laws on the subject of bankruptcies. It's their responsibility to govern laws regarding bankruptcies. Congress is obligated to coin money, regulate its value, and I'm paraphrasing, and foreign coin, and fix the standard of weights and measures. We know what a pound is because Congress says that's what a pound is, okay? It's what they do. It's what they're supposed to do. Congress is to provide the punishment of counterfeiting the securities of current coin of the United States. It is the, are you reading along with me? That's unfair.
I'm looking for that article, that section. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me read that one verbatim. To provide for the punishment and counterfeiting of the securities and current coin of the United States, okay? Good. I've got somebody checking me. If I paraphrase wrong, stop me. If I run over time, John, throw one of those bottles of hard lemonade at me. Okay. So far, nothing in there about funding CPS, right? Congress is to establish post offices and post roads. And if you go look in your dictionary, post roads does not mean build interstate systems. To promote the progress of science and useful arts by securing limited times to authors and inventors, that's trademarks and patents and copyrights. To constitute tribunals inferior to the Supreme Court. To define and punish piracies and felonies committed on the high seas. To declare war, which they haven't done since the Second World War, by the way. Grant letters of marque and reprisal, and make rules concerning captures on land and water. Congress is to raise and support armies. And let me put a little of my concern in here. It's followed with the statement, but no appropriation of money to that use shall be for a longer term than 2 years. Congress may not fund the Army for any more than 2 years. How long has it been funded?
At a time.
At a time. Congress is to provide and maintain a Navy, to make rules for the government and the regulation of the land and naval forces, to provide for the calling forth of the militia, and the rest of it is dealing with militia and how Congress is to deal with the militia and war and state land and so forth that it needs to purchase. So Congress has the obligation to perform 17 tasks, plus a few intermittent ones here and there through the document. But not once is Congress given the authority to supply money or aid of any sort to organizations, state organizations like protective services, like adoption agencies. If you just start looking on the internet, go to the state website and do a word search and see what that brings up. I don't care what word, any word. It just brings up a whole lot of different links, and you start looking through those links and you find more ridiculousness going on the state level. Did you know homosexuality is still illegal in Michigan? Do you know that there's a state agency called the Michigan Department of Civil Rights who's promoting homosexuality in the state of Michigan? How come? This document has a 10th Amendment that says, and I'll look that one up because I misquote it all the time. I'll read that verbatim. A 10th Amendment says, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or the people. That means that if it's not written specifically in this document, the federal government has no authority dealing with it. Now, I said all that to bring me to this point. I'm very proud, again, of these people who are running for office. And it doesn't take a great mind, and I'm not talking about any one of these people. I know these people, they're great people. It doesn't take a great mind to run for office. It doesn't take a great mind to sit on a panel or to work in the Kent County, some of the committees that are put together by the Kent County government. Good grief, the word escapes me here. But the Kent County, all government agencies have committees that they put together made up of regular people, right? You can apply for these positions. You can work in these positions and make recommendations and so forth. Those are positions of great influence. The one coming to mind right now is a gun board, and I know there's dozens, but you can apply and maybe get a job on the gun board and determine who gets a permit. You know, there are numerous of these committees. You can run for office. You can get involved in government. You can support candidates. We've heard from some excellent candidates here tonight. If you live in Kent County or one of the counties that they're running in, one of the areas, get with them. Start handing out brochures for them. Spend a couple hours a week just handing out brochures representing these candidates. Let's get some good candidates in office. The only way to get it changed is either through the court system, lawsuit, and I'm with John. I hate lawsuits. I really do. I lost a wife to cancer a while back, and I believed I could have owned one of the area hospitals, but I didn't. I just despise lawsuits. The other way is to get good, constitutional-minded people elected and get it changed. John, I'm going to leave it at that unless you've got something you want me to say more. But
Thank you.
Okay.